In classic Hollywood, it wasn't just talent that made you a star. It was your ability to play the game behind closed doors. While many actresses were praised for their acting skills, others were known for something far more scandalous: their ability to seduce their way to the top. These women didn't climb the ladder through auditions and casting calls. They used desire as their currency, turning their sexual power into fame. This video isn't about the actresses who pretended to be pure. It's about the ones who broke the rules, who weren't afraid to use their charm, their bodies, and their allure to get what they wanted. Let's dive into the most provocative, unapologetic, and unforgettable divas of Hollywood's golden age. Virginia Mayo was the epitome of the perfect Hollywood blonde, angelic looks, sweet smile, and the kind of manners that would make any grandmother proud. But behind that flawless exterior was one of the most explosive and daring figures in Hollywood's private circles. Virginia quickly realized that being a good girl wasn't going to get her far in the industry. So, she played a different role, one that was far more seductive. She knew exactly how to work the system, delivering one script on screen while writing an entirely different one behind closed doors. Whether it was in private parties or behind the scenes of a press tour, Virginia knew how to use her charm to get what she wanted. A lighting technician once claimed that Virginia could make a man forget he was married in just 3 sentences. She had an intoxicating allure, naive on the outside, but with a sharp understanding of the games played behind studio doors. She wasn't just another starlet. She was a warning in heels. A woman who knew how to use her beauty and sex appeal as weapons in a world that thrived on scandal. Beverly Michaels wasn't just a starlet, she was a sexual myth. On set, she didn't just act, she caused a stir. Beverly's career might not have soared to the heights of other actresses, but her reputation for scandalous behavior spread like wildfire. She wasn't shy about leaving secret notes in male actors' scripts, suggesting private rendezvous that no one could resist. Her notes weren't just about rehearsals, they were about creating an opportunity to turn the entire studio upside down. One note might read, "Rehearsal in my dressing room, no costume required," while another was just an address and a time. While others chased Oscars, Beverly was after something far bigger: the entire studio. She wanted to leave a mark that was unforgettable. The rumors about her relationships with actors, directors, and producers were so wild that even those who didn't know her were aware of the whispers. She was a woman who didn't just want fame, she wanted control, and she wasn't afraid to use her beauty and boldness to get it. Linda Christian's beauty was undeniable. She had the kind of sharp, exotic look that could stop traffic. But what made her dangerous wasn't just her stunning appearance, it was her fearlessness in using her sexuality to get ahead. In Hollywood, they called her dangerous because she didn't follow the rules. She didn't ask for permission, and she sure didn't ask for forgiveness. Linda dated the leading man by day and the costume chief by night, never caring about the reputation others tried to build for her. When people warned her that her actions could ruin her career, Linda's response was simple. Which one? The one you all invented? Her bed was neutral ground, and no man could own her. She didn't care who she slept with, as long as it brought her closer to her goal, fame. She wasn't afraid to use her relationships to push her career forward, and she knew exactly how to manipulate the system. Linda didn't just want to be a star, she wanted to be untouchable. She was a woman who lived life on her own terms, and no one could stop her. Linda Darnell had the kind of beauty that could stop a room. But behind her stunning looks was a wild, reckless energy that was impossible to ignore. She didn't just want fame, she wanted everything that came with it, and she wasn't afraid to take it. Linda's relationships were as wild as her career. She slept with actors, directors, stuntmen, and even gangsters, with no regard for who might be watching or judging. Her love life was just as chaotic as her career, with affairs, rivalries, and betrayals that played out in public and private. One of her most famous love triangles ended with one of the men in the hospital and the other in jail. But Linda didn't stop there. She kept living hard, loving recklessly, and destroying herself in the process. By the time she was 39, her life had taken a tragic turn. Once a celebrated actress, she was working as a prostitute on Sunset Boulevard, charging for the same affection she once gave for free in exchange for movie roles. Her face was still beautiful, but her eyes told a different story, one of emptiness and regret. Hollywood might have turned its back on her, but Linda Darnell never stopped fighting for the spotlight. Yvonne De Carlo didn't just play the part of a Hollywood star, she lived it in the most dramatic way possible. Known for her stunning looks and curves, she came to Hollywood with a bold, "don't tell me what to do" attitude that immediately set her apart. While she filmed westerns by day, she partied with gangsters by night, collecting lovers like some collect awards. Rumors swirled about her relationships with married actors, musicians, and even figures with connections to organized crime. But Yvonne never confirmed or denied the gossip. She just smiled and kept doing her thing. She wasn't here to play the good girl, she was here to play the game on her own terms, and that included using her charm to get exactly what she wanted. Even when she became a family icon on TV, no one dared to mention her wild past. Those who worked with her knew she had more lovers than she had lines of dialogue, and that her true power wasn't in her acting. It was in her ability to control the room, control the men around her, and get away with it all. Ingrid Pitt was not just a beauty, she was a force of nature, a woman who commanded attention wherever she went. Coming from a tragic past, including surviving a concentration camp, Ingrid became a star, known for her role in British Gothic films. But it wasn't just her acting that made her unforgettable, it was her ability to use her sexuality as a tool to dominate Hollywood. Off-screen, Ingrid was as much a master of seduction as she was on-screen. She demanded privacy, specific room temperatures, and even no underwear clauses in her contracts. Because she didn't just want to be a star, she wanted to control every aspect of her career and life. Ingrid was rumored to have had affairs with directors, actors, and even a married diplomat she was caught with on a balcony in Berlin. Her relationships were as much about power as they were about passion. When asked how many lovers she had, Ingrid simply replied, "Enough not to regret a thing." Her sex appeal wasn't just about desire, it was about control. And she had it all, in a way that few women in Hollywood ever did. Karen Steele didn't play by the rules, she made her own. Arriving in Hollywood with a reputation for being both beautiful and fierce, Karen quickly became known for breaking hearts and taking names. She didn't care about the Hollywood image or the moral standards that others tried to uphold. Instead, she had a list of her own personal rules, and by the third month in the industry, she had already broken them all. Her lovers included famous directors, 2 heartthrobs, and even a European prince who sent her lavish gifts. But Karen wasn't interested in love. She was interested in power and control. Her relationships were fleeting, but they always served her purpose, getting what she wanted when she wanted it. At one party, she even kissed a rival actress in front of a photographer, simply saying, "I got bored of men." Time for a plot twist. It was clear. Karen wasn't just playing the game, she was rewriting the rules. Whether it was love, fame, or power, Karen always walked away with the upper hand. Faith Domerguez's rise to fame was anything but conventional. Discovered at just 16 by the powerful Howard Hughes, she was molded into his private property before Hollywood even knew her name. Locked away in Hughes's mansion, Faith learned the tricks of the trade from the inside out, using her beauty and charm as tools to climb the Hollywood ladder. But once she broke free, she didn't slow down. Faith became known for her series of fleeting, passionate affairs with screenwriters, actors, and executives, each one more public and more scandalous than the last. She didn't play by Hollywood's rules. She played by her own. And when she wanted something, she went after it. Once, after being invited to Madrid by a Spanish bullfighter, Faith left a film shoot for 2 weeks without a second thought. Gossip magazines buzzed, studios complained, but they still kept hiring her. Her film career may not have been consistent, but her reputation was built on something far more powerful than acting. It was built on her ability to control the men around her and get what she wanted without apology. Susan Hayward was known for being tough, cold, and bossy, but those who worked with her knew there was more beneath the surface. She wasn't interested in love, she was after control. She played the game of Hollywood with an intensity that made her unforgettable. On set, Susan didn't just charm the men around her. She used them, choosing who she wanted and discarding them when she was done. She had a reputation for sleeping with both rising stars and seasoned veterans, men who thought they still ran the show. One co-star famously said that with Susan, you either fell in love or fell apart. Sometimes, both. She wasn't afraid to challenge authority, and she definitely didn't care about moral expectations. Rumors even spread that she had relationships with both the director and the leading man on one film, leaving everyone around her in a state of shock and confusion. With Susan, you never knew what to expect, except that she was always in control, and no one dared to challenge her. She didn't need to speak to silence people. Her presence alone was enough. Marie Windsor wasn't just a beauty. She was a weapon of seduction, sharp and calculated. Known for her powerful presence on screen, off screen, she was just as dangerous. With a reputation that kept men and studios on edge, Marie had one rule: never sleep with the same man twice. It wasn't about love for her, it was about power, control, and using her beauty to get what she wanted. Some even said she kept a secret notebook filled with initials, dates, and ratings of her lovers. Fact or fiction? No one knew for sure. But one thing was clear: Marie had the ability to make men lose control. During the filming of The Killing, one actor vanished for 2 days after a night with her. When he returned, he had a ring in his pocket that he didn't remember buying. Marie never denied the rumors, but she didn't need to. Her seduction was surgical, silent, and lethal, and it left men tangled in their own desires. She didn't need to shout or demand attention. Her power was in the quiet, lethal way she held their hearts and minds in her hands. Dolores Del Rio was the embodiment of exoticism, a stunning Latina beauty who quickly became Hollywood's most desired star. But what many didn't know was that she wasn't just using her looks, she was using her entire persona to manipulate and control Hollywood. In an era when being Latina in Hollywood was practically a curse, Dolores turned her accent and her body into a weapon. She had affairs with directors, actors, and even royalty, each relationship calculated to advance her career or satisfy her desires. Behind the glitz and glamour, she kept a secret apartment in Los Angeles, a place where no rules applied and no contracts were signed. No press, no publicists, just closed doors and complete control. At one studio, she had a forbidden nickname: the Mistress of the Golden Sheets. Everyone knew who she was and what she could get without saying a word. She didn't need to shout about her power. It was in the way she moved through the world, quietly collecting the men and the influence she wanted. Dolores didn't just play the Hollywood game, she rewrote the rules, and everyone around her had no choice but to play along. John Kent was never Hollywood's biggest star, but in the world of scandal, her name was one that couldn't be ignored. She had the face of a porcelain doll. But behind those delicate features was a sharp, calculating mind. Jean was known for her love life, one that spanned continents and involved a long list of lovers, many of whom were in powerful positions. She didn't just have flings, she had the kind of affairs that turned heads and stirred whispers. At a film festival in Venice, Jean disappeared for 2 hours, only to return with a wrinkled dress, untouched lipstick, and a smile that silenced 3 producers. No one dared question her. Anita Ekberg was more than just a beauty. She was a force that Hollywood couldn't control. From the moment she arrived, she redefined what it meant to be a star. With legs that seemed to go on forever and a gaze that could melt anyone in a room, Anita turned heads wherever she went. But it wasn't just her looks that made her unforgettable. It was the way she used her allure to bend the world around her. Rumors about her lovers were endless. 2 senators, a singer, an actor who ended up hospitalized from exhaustion after a week with her in Rome. Anita didn't care about the whispers. She reveled in them. When reporters asked her about the rumors, she'd reply with a grin. Which ones? The boring ones or the interesting ones? Her reputation for scandal followed her everywhere, but Anita embraced it. One of her most famous moments was at an award show when she showed up in a dress with no underwear and left with a trophy no one remembered giving her. Anita Ekberg wasn't just a star, she was an icon who lived life on her own terms, using her body and her presence as her most powerful tools. No one could resist her, and no one dared to forget her. These women weren't just actresses, they were pioneers of a different kind of power. In a world that tried to control them, they turned their sexuality into a weapon and used it to shape their careers and lives. From whispered rumors to explosive scandals, they showed that in Hollywood, sometimes the most powerful thing a woman could have wasn't her talent, but her ability to control desire. They never apologized for their actions, and they never played by the rules. In a time when Hollywood was built on image and expectation, these divas shattered both, leaving behind legacies that were as bold and unapologetic as they were. Whether they were called promiscuous, dangerous, or powerful, one thing is certain: they were unforgettable. These women didn't just survive Hollywood, they ruled it. And today, they stand as symbols of a freedom that was rarely allowed to women of their time. So, did you know these names hiding behind the spotlight? Or did you think promiscuity in Hollywood started with the modern era? These legends prove that scandal, power, and allure have always been part of the story.